Sir Syed, I think is one of the tallest Indian, I would say, because he worked for a community which was deprived, and his idea was to bring them in the mainstream, and he did it without any sectarian consideration. That is the best part of it. He worked for a community, but he was never sectarian in his approach. Actually, Sir Syed built this institution through community participation. All our older buildings, if you have a look at them, they will have those plaques indicating the people who have contributed to that building. So, the basic idea of Sir Syed was that government plays a supporting role, a hand holding role, but ultimately it has to be a community effort, and that is the best part of his movement. And through this building, we are trying to revive that spirit of community participation in institution building. Actually, this building will house management department of our university, and management education was started in Aligarh way back in late 60s. So, in a way AMU is a pioneer organization for initiating management education in this country. But over the years what happened that the building infrastructure was not adequate, and we thought that if we want to now relaunch this management program and make it a state of the art, the building infrastructure plays a very important role. You might have seen some of the good institutions. One of the basic plank is that we have state of the art infrastructure. So, we thought that this building will address one of the major lack we have presently. We are blessed with a very wonderful, highly qualified faculty, but building infrastructure was not that good. So, we thought that through this building we will create that kind of. That was a very long journey we traversed. We have been debating, discussing, and the ways of coming up with this idea. In 2008, when we had our World Alumni Summit, from there the real seeds were sown. We had a person called Mr. Amir Ahmed, who was a product of this institution only. He passed out his MBA in 1978, and then he made it big in life. So, he said the department needs a state of the art building infrastructure. So, it was then that he committed 1 crore for the building, and then and there the Vice Chancellor allocated 3 acres of land for the building. So, that is when the things started moving on a more firm ground, and then we started fundraising efforts, because the Vice Chancellor's idea was that we should start the actual construction when we have sufficient funds in the kitty. Fortunately, we got this godsend opportunity in the form of Mr. Frank Islam. He met the Vice Chancellor, and then he discussed this idea of a state of the art management building, and then Mr. Frank Islam committed $2 million for this project. We were fortunate to have one person in our team, an elderly person in the team, Professor Abad Ahmed. He is a product of this university only. He was the first PhD in Commerce department, and then he acquired management education also, and then he was former Pro Vice Chancellor of Delhi University. He helped us crystallize our design brief. So, he knew what a management building should be like. So, we first crystallized the design brief, what kind of classrooms. For example, if you visit our classrooms, he said the management classrooms are designed for interaction and discussion. So, we had a horseshoe shaped design for the classrooms. Likewise, we crystallized our design brief. Then we approached an architect, and fortunately we were able to get a good architect also, and we gave him that brief that this building should have a connect with the past, yet it should be a very modern building. So, with that idea in mind, he designed this building. So, you will see that there are some arches which reflect our traditional character, but at the same time we have created features like amphitheater, which is state of the art modern kind of thing. Even the entire courtyard format that we have followed in the design, that is part of a original architectural design. All our older buildings, if you look at them, they follow this courtyard format. We have fixed a deadline of 30th November for this building, because our chief donor has given as on date 17th of December as the inaugural day for the building. So, we are scheduled to finish it by 30th November. We have all the facilities to cater to the existing programs that we are offering in the department, but our chief donor happens to be a very successful entrepreneur. He made it big in life in America through an IT company which he established, and then in 2000 he started with single employee, and then when he sold it in 2007 the company had more than 2000 employees. So, he wants that this spirit of entrepreneurship should be percolated downwards, and for that purpose he has decided to institute a chair on entrepreneurship under this building. So, he will have a chair professor who would be handling only entrepreneurship. So, our idea is that we would handhold some of the students who are brave enough to take up entrepreneurship as a career option rather than serving the regular corporates, which is the usual norm in MBAs.
The people about India are strong, vibrant and resilient, especially the young generation, and they are very entrepreneur. They have entrepreneurs and they have a spirit of attitude that they want to make a difference.
We will encourage those 10 odd entrepreneurs to begin with. We will create success stories. We will have industry mentors for them from amongst those alumni who have made it big in entrepreneurship. So, each student will have a mentor, industry mentor, and then if we create 10 success stories, we are confident that it will inspire the youngers to follow. I think what Sir Syed taught us was the power to think big. I remember an incident from his life when he was building this mosque, and it was a huge mosque from the college standard, but as per his vision it was a small mosque, because he went to Delhi, got the Jama Masjid of Delhi measured, and our mosque is exactly 1/4 of that mosque. So, by his vision it was small, but by institution's standard it was a huge mosque, and people ridiculed him, criticized him left and forth. They said, why waste so much of public money in creating such a huge structure? But Sir Syed did not respond, he just went ahead. And that is also a fact that when the prayer was offered for the first time in this mosque, there were just 7 persons. So, people said, what is this creating such a huge infrastructure? So, he responded by just one statement. He said, एक वक्त ऐसा आएगा जब ये जगह कम पड़ जाएगी. And we see the power of his vision now after 125 years. So, this is something which is the message which we get from Sir Syed's life, that you have to think big, you have to think ahead, and you have to think beyond. So, if we could create that kind of spirit through this building, that would be great for us.
I feel very honored and privileged to be associated with this project, that is Frank and Debbie Islam Management Complex. Mr. Frank Islam, who is the chief donor of this project, actually put me to oversee the project, how it goes on, timeline wise, and how the budget is being used, and actually there are constraints like time constraint. The project should be completed by May 2017. That's why I am just overseeing and monitoring the project that should be completed by that day.